Well, all right. It is Thursday, April 25. It's 9:50 here on the West Coast, and I tried something new today. I uh, I had a evaluation 35 that renewed last night, and it was a previously blown account, so it renewed and reset. And I just thought I would throw it onto the opening trade and YOLO it for 10 contracts, max contracts, and go for 61 ticks and try to pass it in one trade in one day. And it got really close to working. I think in the corner of my eye I saw it was up about $2,400, $2,500, something in that neighborhood at its best point, and then it reversed and took me out of the trade and blew up the account. And then price then went on to go far enough where it would have worked. So it had a real legit shot at working. I just figured, I've been really concentrated on the open trade in my regular system, and the open trade's been working really well. And I've been, working slowly towards passing these four evaluations. And this new one came online that, I haven't been working with. So I just figured, you know what, it doesn't change what I've been doing to just throw a YOLO on it, see if I can pass it in one day. That would be great. And if not, I'm exactly where I was yesterday on all of my accounts, regardless, as long as the trades work today. So that was the idea. When I get into showing my trades, I'll go ahead and show both the chart where it did not work for 61 ticks on the one account, but I will also show where it did work for the standard 22 ticks that I go for, which I took on, let's see here, evaluation 36. You can see I made $212, two contracts. This is the account that I've only traded the account with the opening trade. So this is the 12th day in a row I've traded it, and the 12th day I've won with it. So I'm up $2,690. And I just, I like to point this out that this is proof of concept for me. In 12 trading days, if this were a PA account, I would have already qualified for a payout on this account just with the one single opening trade every day for 12 days. So to me, that's proof of concept. It works. I'm doing it well enough, clearly, that I haven't lost in 12 trades. And, this is definitely a winning strategy that I'm going to fold into what I'm doing, as I have been. So I took the opening trade on 36, as you can see there, as well as account 29. Again, $212. This account I've traded not only the opening trade, but other my friend met a regular strategy as well. I'm up 2,576, so within just a little over $400 of passing this account. It's been 15 days. And then I chose not to include, usually I include account 34. I didn't include it today just in case it was a losing trade. I wanted to make sure I had two evaluations that are in good shape, so that if I were to lose these other evaluations, I would still have two that are close to passing, and the likelihood of getting two losses in a row on the opening trade are extremely small. So that's my line of thinking. That's probably how I'm going to continue doing this as I move forward. Now that I'm this close, I'll probably, I'll definitely trade 36 tomorrow, and then I'll choose between one of these two accounts and trade that, and I'll leave two untraded just in case. And then I will also continue to trade PA6 like I did today. Today is the 33rd day traded on this account. Really just been trading the opening trade on it these last days now. So another win on that, just doing it one contract at a time since it's a 25K account. And now I'm at $26,000, so up 1,036 overall, and less than 500 or less than 600 to go to qualify for a payout there. So I'm just going to keep working towards a payout on this one, and work towards passing these evaluations. I was thinking, since the 80% discount, by the way, you can use this code or any other, 80% discounts going through April 30th, which is the beginning of next week. So I was considering buying another eval for tomorrow morning and doing this again, YOLOing 10 contracts, 61 ticks, and just seeing if I can pass in one day. But I mean, honestly, I shouldn't do it, because when I was thinking about it during the live stream, if I do pass, all 4 of these evaluations and have PA fees coming my way, that's $500 extra in fees coming my way, plus the $30 I just spent last night on this new account. That's already over $500 in fees buying lifetime accounts. So because of that, I'm going to not do that quite yet. I think once I have secured some payouts, at least get towards break even or profitable, which will take 2 payouts to get profitable. I think I'm going to hold off on that idea for the next promo when they're doing 1-day pass. Maybe it'll just continue. I mean, it's been a pretty regular thing lately. But whatever it is, you know, I think it's a little premature to do this. I just kind of did it on a whim. I had the account. It was brand new. I didn't care about it. I was like, well, if I do blow it up, like I ended up blowing it up today, I'm in the same place I was yesterday. I have all the same accounts I've been working on. And it was really kind of like, you know, do I care about the $30? Okay, this time let's give it a try. It would have worked a lot of days. Today it was really close. Just not quite, a little bit shy. But I think that is a tactic I will use in the future. Maybe news events and maybe definitely the open, where I will, you know, take an account and just try it with as I move forward and getting payouts just to secure more PAs quicker. So yeah, tried something new. It's kind of weird. It kind of threw me off a little bit for the rest of the day because, you know, the account, the trade worked, you know, so that's why you don't see a loss here, even though I blew up an account. There's no loss because the trade as I'm supposed to trade it worked for the 22 ticks. It was just the YOLO effort didn't work, but that's not like a legitimate trade for me to be keeping track of. I would never trade this way on a PA account, and I would never trade this way, you know, if there wasn't a 1-day pass. So it was just kind of like, let's try it and see what happens. So not counting it as a loss doesn't make sense because the same trade was a winner. So having said all that, yeah, I am live streaming every day at 10 Eastern, and you could check me out at that time. Appreciate the likes and subscribes I've been getting lately. It's really awesome. And yeah, the opening trade is just, you know, it's a beast. You know, it works if you're doing it right, if you're managing it. You know, if you're just YOLOing it, if you're doing huge contracts, like, yeah, this is an example of, you know, if you're just taking the trade this way, you lose. But if you're taking the trade in a reasonable way, then you win. So I think that's a good example of like how it won't matter in terms of Apex, what they think about the open trade. No reason for them to change the rules, because for as many people trade it this way and win, to get, you know, 22 ticks or something like that, just as many people are going to YOLO with 10 contracts going for 61 ticks and blow up their accounts. So they're going to be fine either way. It shouldn't really affect them. There's no reason for them to change anything. All right, so let's, oh, and then otherwise, my second trade of the day was with my normal system. For anyone that doesn't know, when I start my day, I look for different size tick charts where every single second entry works for my profit target. And those are the charts I trade off of. And got one winner today. It was a little bit different, but we'll talk about it. I actually should have had a win on another chart right before this, and I only got entered on my sim leader account and not the Apex accounts. So there's just kind of a copier issue there, which kind of made me enter this trade, and we'll talk about this in a second. So let's take a look at the opening trade and get into this real quick. All right, so here we go. As you can see here, you know, leading into this, there was a news event. Here, what was it? Advanced GDP, unemployment claims at 5:30. Huge spike up, huge spike down. No matter which side you played, the high side or low side, you could have passed accounts right there. I was still sleeping at that time, too early for me, 5:30 in the morning on the West Coast. And then it was a steep sell-off. And, you know, this trade continues just to work real easily. So you can see here's where I was entered for the short. And here was the 22 tick scalp, and it just worked in a heartbeat, just as these have been working. Like I said, I traded it on PA6 as well. Is this big enough? Let's do it like this. Make it real big. So, yeah, traded on PA6, evaluation 29.36. So one less evaluation being traded on it, like I talked about earlier. just to secure in case I run into a loss that I would have 2 more evaluations right where I left off and can pass those instead. So yeah, this was a super easy trade, plenty of room, worked right away. And then here we can look at, let's see, here we can look at the trade that didn't work on the open. This was on the evaluation 35. And as you can see here, I was going 10 contracts for 61 ticks. And, you know, the same entry as on this chart, same entry, it shot all the way down. And at this point, at the bottom of this wick, I looked in the corner of my eye down here and it said something like $2,400-$2,500 in profit, and then made a new low and then just bounced right back up. It came all the way up here, stopped me out of the, you know, liquidated the account, blew it up, and then, you know, went up even further and then ended up going down and, you know, would have been good enough. So that just shows you, you know, it's like, this is like the difference, right? You know, trading it reasonably, just going for base hit, you get a win easily. Going for the home run and just passing the account in one shot, trying to make $3,000, you get a loss. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to do this with this trade, you know, and a lot of times it'll work and a lot of times it won't work. Or you can do something like this and virtually every time it's going to work. So, you know, this is just a good example of, here's the 98% probability trade, and here's the less probability trade. I don't know what the probability is, but it's not 98% when you're doing something like this. So I felt like it was worth the try. It was like a really large move down day, a lot of, you know, just movement. And so, you know, I felt like I had a reasonable chance to get it. It was so close, but just not quite there. So yeah, that was fun. But I think I'm going to hold off until I've got some more PAs, some payouts, get my money back in my pocket, and then I can throw $30 away and, you know, just try that once a day. You know, I wonder if I did that once a day, $30 a day, how many of those would I pass? You know, would I pass 1 a week, 2 a week, 3 a week, 4 a week? So that's something at some point I'm going to try, because I definitely don't want to take, you know, I don't want to always be taking 15 days to pass an evaluation, or, you know, and it's not even passed yet. So by the time it passes, what, 17 days, maybe 18 days, or this one, you know, 14 days or something. I don't always want to have to take that long because time is money. So once I've really got this thing working in my favor and getting payouts, I want to always have PAs going. And so that'll be a way that I do that at some point. And, you know, I'll probably trade news in a similar fashion to pass evaluations at some point. But again, it's not the way to do it. It's not the way to go to YOLO these accounts until you're playing with Apex's money, for sure, because, you know, otherwise you're throwing away $30 at a time when it doesn't work, and that's when it adds up and you dig yourself a hole. So I don't recommend it. Yeah, so trade one, there you go. 22 ticks to open, works beautifully. And yeah, I like the trade. Gonna continue to trade it 12-0. Let's see how we do tomorrow. And then let's check out the next trade on my tick chart. All right, so here we go. So I lost a couple accounts, or not accounts, but a couple charts that I couldn't trade off during the course of the day. And I was down to 2 charts at the point that I tried to take this trade. Now, what I was looking at the time of the trade was 1 leg up and 2 legs up, and we'd gone well beyond, right? So I felt like it was pretty safe to go for a counter trend trade. Had a new low here, and this was a first entry below this candle. Make this a little bit bigger. So new low, there's a first entry below this candle, and then the second entry here. Now I tried to take this trade with a sim leader account like I normally do for ease of use trading on YouTube. And actually, let me bring up the, one second here, let me bring up the markers. So here you can see I got into the trade, and then once I was in the trade, I noticed that it only filled me on the sim only, and then it ended up canceling the Apex orders. So I think the copier actually did what it was supposed to do. It didn't get me into the trade, and after like 3 seconds, it just kicked the apex order. So I didn't get entered in, in a wrong way, or something bad happening on the follower account. And so, but it was frustrating because it was a winning trade, as you can see here, won really quickly, and for 11 ticks. And yeah, it should have been a win on my PA7 account. And so unfortunately, when that closed and it was only a win on the sim account, I noticed real quickly that on this other chart that I had going at the time, that let's see here, that this was also triggering a second entry. There was a tick under here, and then when this candle ticked below this, that was a second entry. Now I liked, where is it? I liked the way this entry looked much better than the one I ended up taking here. And but I wouldn't have taken this trade other than the fact that this happened to me, and I didn't get the trade on my account, and something clicked in my head, and I just impulsively ended up taking this trade. Not a great trade. I don't like this trade. It already worked on this chart for the the setup that looked really good, and I really shouldn't have entered again here. It was actually a lapse of judgment. I don't want to be trading this way. I don't want to react off of like not getting a proper fill and then entering just impulsively at the first next chance I get. So I haven't been doing this in a long time, but I did it today, and it was kind of like a warning sign to me. I had to check myself during the live stream and just kind of tell myself, like, this is not what I want to do. And as you can see, I entered here for short, and then the trade went against me. And technically this chart lost because, technically I consider an entry a loss when it ticks above the signal bar, which technically is this one in this case. And so you can see it went higher here. Now I'm now trading more like Alpine style. So I move my stops out of the way, and I let it give me a chance to either work out of the trade or let it go back in my favor before it stops me out and takes me out of the account. So this is a good example of using the whole account as my risk management. And so many times I've taken trades where this exact thing happens. I barely get ticked out of the trade, and it goes and works in my favor, and it would turn into a winner. And that's what happened here. This was a loser on the chart that turned into a winner, and I closed, it hit my profit target here for 11 ticks. And how many of these 45 losses is because of a situation like this where I barely got ticked out, and then it would have ended up working, and I had plenty of room on the drawdown, would have survived, and would have ended up with a win. I mean, I'd say easily over 10 times out of the 45 losses, and maybe a lot more. I really have no idea. I'd have to go back and look. But so I like doing this. It doesn't feel great when it's working against you and you got a strong push up. And, on this particular 25K PA, number 7, I don't have full drawdown. I mean, after the trade, I have, let's see, 750 in drawdown. So before the trade, I only had 700 in drawdown. So on one contract, even, it doesn't take a whole lot for that to evaporate. I mean, at the peaks here, I was, I think, in $300 plus drawdown, something like that. So just double that, and from my entry point, so somewhere right around here, and I would have been liquidated out of the account. So it doesn't feel great when it's going against you, but it's just a great example of, don't use a stop, use the account as a stop, and it saved my account this time. Because if I took that loss, it would have been a $300+ loss, and instead of having a $750 drawdown, I would have back to 300, and it'd be a never-ending cycle of trying to dig out of it until I eventually just blow it up anyway. So really just prefer to trade this way at this point, and happy that I did that. And And then after that, there just really wasn't anything. This chart was no longer good. I couldn't trade off of it anymore because it was technically a losing entry, and wouldn't have been a winner for me like if I had my stop where it's supposed to be. Now, the stop, I only say it's supposed to be there because it's a leftover rule from max price action trading system that I used to trade. It's only a loser because of that, but that is how I define whether the entry is a winner or loser according to how I look at the charts and find charts to trade off of. So stopped trading on that chart. And so at that point, this was the only chart left to trade off of. And didn't see anything after I got out of this trade. And there was just no entries that were good for me in any of this. And then over here, I also had to leave and take care of my daughter for a little bit in the morning. So I missed a little bit of time, like 15, 20 minutes maybe. And then did a measured move up. This was interesting. I did a measured move down. It came a little bit short. During the live stream, I was saying, well, usually when it comes up a little bit short, it might go the other way in a big way. And that's what it ended up doing. I had measured a one leg up, two legs up. It had reached that already. And when this thing continued to go up, I started saying to myself, well, maybe this is one big leg up and maybe we have a second leg up. Now we can see we went to that, which was the previous day's low, and now we've gone beyond. So we're about to retest the highs of the day. It's honestly not that surprising. The way this moved up, it looks like we should get a retest of the high of the day. So I think we should get a legitimate new high of the day or retest of it, and then who knows what happens from there. But yeah, that was the day. Interesting day. This kind of messed up my psychology. I then actually took off the copier and was just trading directly from the chart. But it just really messes up my system trading on YouTube Live when I'm not using a sim leader and copying to a follower account. So at the point that eventually when I have these more PAs, hopefully, then I'll be able to use a PA as a leader and then copy from the PA to another account and trade, an evaluation with a PA at the same time kind of thing is typically how I'm going to do it for my regular system. So once I get into that, it's going to become a non-issue because the copier seems to work perfectly when it's an Apex leader account. So it's just happening on the sim leader, and it's just something I'm going to have to accept until I get to that point where I can have an Apex account as the leader. So let's see here. So so the one trade on the BS system on the tick chart, I did get that 11 ticks. That was on PA7, just one contract, and made $51 on it. So that account was down to less than 200 in drawdown at one point. So I brought it back a really good long way, 750 in drawdown. I think another one or two one contract trades, if I could get it to about 850, then I can switch to 2 contracts on the trades, and then try to really make a push to get it back over the starting balance. And then hopefully work it back towards giving a good solid chance of getting a payout. And then in the meantime, hopefully I'll get some more trades for this account, and I'll keep doing this account on the open and hope to get my first payout that way. Seems like my best quickest shot to make it happen. So yeah, to wrap it up, 2-0 day. Yeah, 2-0 day, despite the fact that I blew up an account, still a 2-0 day. The trade worked for the normal scalp. And so we can see here, following up last week, I had a 17-0 week. This week I'm 6-0 and 2-0 today. Like I said earlier, 12-0 on the opening trade, and overall 200 wins, 45 losses. I've now edged up to 82% overall, just barely. And so things are looking good, headed in the right direction. I do believe between the opening trade and my normal trading, I should be at least an 85% trader. I really believe that. So we'll see if I can do that over time. I'll keep keeping track. And yeah, I'll put this trying something new on the back burner for now. And we'll not do that for a little while until I get some payouts, and then we'll get back to trying that out again. So yeah, I think that about covers it. Appreciate everyone that's given me likes and subscribes, and as well as the few of you that are using my code recently. Really appreciate it. I am into Apex for, I think it's roughly $2,300 now. So if I do pass these evaluations coming up, that'll be another $500 in fees. That'll put me, closer to the $3,000 mark, just underneath. And so yeah, we'll really need these payouts coming to get me back where I want to be, because I don't want to get too further into debt to Apex than that, for sure. So having said all of that, I believe I've now said it all. So I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. And if you haven't already, check out the live stream and give me a shout out while you're there. And hope you had a good trading day and a good trading week so far. Let's finish it out strong tomorrow. I'm out of here.